Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today I'm here with my main man, John. How you doing, bro?
Dude, I'm doing awesome. Excited to talk about some more characters.
That's right, and today on the docket we've got Tigra. She's a super far-reaching, neutralizing, rupture-inducing, primal and huntress sensing with unblockable specials and a brand new way to play.
Definitely excited. New mechanics, new under the hood tech. I think you guys are really gonna like her.
That's right. So, let's have a little fun, maybe a couple of puns, and deep dive another one. So we're talking about her abilities here, and first thing to notice is that she has double hits on her mediums, and just like champions previous, this really helps build your combo meter for those champions that really require it. And every time you land a successful hit, you're adding one of her new mechanics, which is Neutralize. It's non-stacking, but refreshes each time you land an attack and lasts for 2.5 seconds while stopping buffs from activating.
Oh yeah, it's a great, fun new mechanic. If you guys are familiar with Mephisto and his special one, his soul imprisonment, this actually works very similar. So it's not a nullify. If a neutralize is on the opponent and they try to trigger a buff, they have a 100% chance to make it fail. And if any buff fails via this ability or chance, it also is going to apply a rupture, which will tick for physical damage.
I really like her heavy attacks because while you're charging, you're causing all non-contact specials to miss. So this includes specials like Winter Soldier, all of the non-contact bullets that are coming at you, War Machine's SP1, where it's all just bullets flying, you can heavy right through the entire thing, and it's pretty glorious. Now, something to keep in mind is weakness, slow, and exhaustion debuffs stop Tigra's miss and unblockable effects. However, this doesn't apply to Cosmics. And she joins the ranks of the select few who can charge their heavies indefinitely. So heavy to special cancels are perfect here, and if you're a precision heavy interceptor, this is right up your alley.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're interrupting those attacks, you're also going to be applying Rupture. So if you're baiting a heavy attack out, or you're punishing at the end of the opponent's special, each hit of your heavy attack is going to apply a Rupture. That means red numbers all over the place.
I like the sound of that.
I had a sense that you would.
Well, that brings us to the next section. So Tigra has two different senses that she can gain. The first is Primal Sense. So if you land a Rupture, you deal a burst of physical damage, as you said earlier, John. And it's based on the number of damaging debuffs on the opponent, and this includes stacking debuffs. And it's increased by 100% during special attacks.
She's also got her Huntress Sense, which gives her a flat 10% chance for all non-contact attacks in special attacks to miss. And whenever you inflict a Rupture or cause the opponent to miss, you're going to gain 10% of a bar of power.
Now these senses are primarily gained through specials, so let's hit it. So your special one is here on the docket, and on activation, you're going to alternate between triggering Primal Sense and Huntress Sense. Now each sense lasts for 14 seconds, and the duration is paused while the opponent is neutralized. So you have the ability to keep these going for much longer than 14 seconds, seeing as every hit neutralizes for 2.5 seconds. So your SP1 is basically your sense activation. Now keep in mind, if you've already activated Primal Sense, even if it's expired, the next one in line will be Huntress Sense, and so on and so forth.
So now that you've got your senses active, it's time to look at the SP2. That's where most of your damage is going to be coming from. Each hit has a 10% chance to apply a Rupture, dealing physical damage over 4 seconds. And each damaging debuff on the opponent increases the chance of inflicting a Rupture by a flat 10%. So each Rupture you have on them is going to have a higher chance to apply even more Ruptures.
And if Huntress Sense is active, all those Ruptures are giving you power gain during a special.
And this SP2 has crazy reach. Even if you launch it at a blocking opponent, she actually dashes back in the middle of the special, which is going to give her the space to make the rest of the hits unblockable.
Wow, gives her the space. I guess we're going to talk about that in just a second. Let's get through this SP3. Now this is going to allow you to gain both senses for 14 seconds, which is huge. And it inflicts a non-stacking indefinite Rupture, dealing physical damage every 0.5 seconds. Each time Tigra lands an unblockable attack, the Rupture is removed and reapplied.
So having both of her senses active is going to be super important for a Kit. It's going to give her a ton of bonuses all the time. And her signature ability will let you start the fight with both of them active. It's going to go all the way up to 12 seconds at the start of the fight. Remember, you could pause this with your Neutralize, so you can actually keep it up way longer than 12 seconds.
So making space in the middle of the special is making her unblockable, and that is possible by that icon right up there. John, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you'll see when you're close to the opponent, you've got a gray unblockable icon, but when you make some space, it's going to go purple, meaning your next hit will be unblockable.
And each unblockable strike inflicts a Rupture, so it's beneficial to become unblockable as much as you can every fight.
And that signature ability is really going to help her be effective at the beginning of the fight, which really helps out with her rotation. Let's talk about that. So there's a couple ways to use her here. If she's unawakened, the best route to go is SP1 to SP1, because you want to activate both senses. Then, keep the opponent neutralized to keep those sense timers paused, and stack as many ruptures as you can. Get to the SP2, step back for the unblockable, so you can get the bonus damage and the power gain. Rinse and repeat. If you're awakened, however, with a high SIG ability, you can hit the ground running with both senses active. Rush to that SP2, back out, and launch that unblockable beauty. Just like unawakened Tigra, the ruptures just add to your damage. And speaking of which, a little pro tip here. If you wait to the last possible second of your parry stun, you can bait the opponent into attacking into your heavy for easy rupture stacks.
Yeah, that's awesome for short fights, and believe me, a lot of them will be short with Tigra.
But if you find yourself in a longer fight, you're going to want to race up to that special 3, get that infinite duration Rupture on the opponent, and then do bonus damage for everyone after.
It's also going to apply both of your senses for a longer duration.
Her heavy attack is not only indefinite, but it's also long-reaching. So this makes heavy intercepts, corner chains, and countering special attacks easy to add to your loot, and you're handsomely rewarded for your skill.
Oh yeah, if you can punish the opponent's heavy attack, you're gonna get a ton of bonus damage. So one thing I really wasn't expecting with Tigra, but is actually really awesome about her, she counters Thing really easily. When you have that Neutralize on the opponent, he can never activate as unstoppable.
Now you're really gonna see Tigra shine when you take her up against buff heavy proccing champs. Champs like Wolverine, or Black Bolt, or Venom, for example.
This also extends to any nodes that are going to be applying buffs whenever you hit them. So if you can think of something like Resistor, or Personal Space is another good example where you're going to be up in their face and they're going to be trying to gain Furies, and your Neutralize will cancel them out.
And when there's a Neutralize, there's a Rupture.
Aw yeah.
Now we've got a couple notable synergies here, and one of my favorite ones for this particular champion is being able to shut down Unstoppable while ruptured, which happens with both of the Black Panthers. Now, while Neutralize stops Unstoppable before it happens, if it happens without Neutralize, this synergy will help you add an extra layer of protection to stop it while they're ruptured.
So I really love using the Nick Fury and Quake or Ant-Man synergy with her. Getting those free evade charges and letting you charge your heavy forever is a great combo for letting you play really aggressively and get those heavy attacks in whenever you can.
Alright, let's talk masteries here. Now, John, what do you think about Mystic Dispersion with Tigra?
Yeah, so Mystic Dispersion actually doesn't work with her very well. Since she's not nullifying or removing the buff of the opponent, she's actually making it fail with ability accuracy. When those buffs don't trigger, she actually won't be proccing Mystic Dispersion. I think you'll find Despair is super good with her. She's putting so many debuffs on the opponent that you'll cancel their healing majority of the fight.
Speaking of healing, did you know that if you just stand still, Tigra will lick her paws and she's gonna gain a very small amount of health. It's a nice little tidbit for those of you that like Easter eggs. Well, that concludes our deep dive for Tigra. So once again, this is Dorky, Diggity Dave, and my main man, John. You have a good time talking about Tigra today?
Oh, I had a great time. Love talking about these new characters with you.
Absolutely. So if you like the video, and I hope that you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your mama. All that stuff is absolutely fantastic. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Oh,
Potamus.